Hi, everyone. Raj Gavrola, welcome to Facebook Live, all about life. And this week we're continuing with my Paragon model, the Forward Performance Pyramid or Winning Mental Pyramid. And I want to talk with you about consciousness. If I asked you to define consciousness, what would it be? What is consciousness for you? Well, there's a lot of people that would give you a lot of different answers. Somebody might say it's mindfulness, which is thinking about what you're doing or knowing what you're doing or believing what you're doing or feeling what you're doing, but it's all related to what you're doing in the current moment. And so in my model, there's 4 different areas. And when all of those areas are aligned, and of course, throughout these sessions, I've given you some questions or concepts and thinking tools and learning tools so that you are able to align each one of those areas, whether it's your relationship between your motivation and inspiration, which controls your attitude, and your positive attitude controls your mindset, and your positive mindset controls the relationship between your mood and subconscious. When all of those are aligned, you have consciousness. And that's very important for you to have some tools to understand where in your life you may not be aligned. Because we're not always 100% aligned, but we're always making slight adjustments, and it can be in a lot of different areas. Maybe it's because you're not really pursuing what it is that you really want to pursue as far as your clear goals. Maybe it's a health challenge, maybe it's a relationship issue. Maybe it's just not being able to have conversation with someone in an authentic way to where both parties can actually go further if that were to happen. But because of, I would say, the uh, inability or what's happened throughout, it's just built up too much of a resistance or conflict or a lot of unknowns that simply aren't important anymore because they were in the past, and it's just best to just keep going forward. And that could be a scenario. And so that's really important with consciousness, because if you can really understand uh, that it's important for you to have consciousness versus, of course, when you've heard of somebody being unconscious. Well, obviously, that's a state where someone's, not 100% with the ability to do or dream or have a vision, a mission, or a goal towards what it is that they want to do. So, with having consciousness, you can have consciousness and dream and have a vision, mission, goals, and aspirations. It's just that what consciousness does is it gives you an ability to actually look at it from both a wow way, because whatever it is you want to do, you want to get some kind of wow factor. There has to be those endorphins, that energy, that motivation, inspiration, that feeling that you're doing something well for someone. So that has to be there. But then you also have to have the consciousness part to realize that, especially where you are in your life, regardless of where you are in your life, that by learning the proper tools, the right tools, having the right support system, and a lot of it, in a way, is systemic, because two parties are not trying to go forward, coming together and going forward, or going to someone and trying to go forward together. Instead, there's more of a give and take type of thing. So there's always this tug of war happening, although you're both on the same team and you should be going that way. So what I'm advocating for in consciousness is that for you, both sides to not just be compliant or just do their part. That's not where the real value comes, and that's not where the real value in life comes from. The real value comes is when both sides or both people or groups or teams are able to talk about what their goals, their aspirations are, and then talk about on the other side, the other team or person does the same. And when they do that, then figure out, okay, now how do we go about together accomplishing this? And what happens is that you'll see it'll be like a Venn diagram, right? You have two circles, they overlap, and this part is the colored area. And that's the part that these two parties can actually work together towards. All the things on the outside are where an additional support service or system is required to do it. And so that's the challenge there, is that most people, when they have a life problem, challenge, or just a breakthrough they want to achieve, well, within their network or within their realm of understanding currently, they have these specific people and know a little bit about where to go about getting the support to a very good extent. However, there's other people who can come in who can do that kind of work to provide additional support, because you'll need that in all about life. So what are some examples, consciousness examples? Well, I can give you lots of examples. It's your work. The only reason something might not be coming to you as easy is because either you need to spend more time looking into it, understanding it, dissecting it a bit better, or someone needs to show you, or somebody just plainly needs to give you the information that you should have, or you need to be able to go ask for that information. So that in itself, making it easier to do the work, that's very important, and that'll go a long ways. Another one is exactly that as far as in relationships. It's really that two people, they actually do like each other, they get along. It's just that they don't know how to take it forward. And this doesn't require therapy or anything of that nature. That's not what I'm talking about. But I am talking about being able to actually understand the value of what both people think and how to make it go forward towards something that's greater without having to go back into the past, because the past is done and nobody can change it. And so to be able to focus on something like that in health, a lot of people go and, we're very health conscious more and more so now. And, keep reading articles, seeing things on the news and the paper. Well, if you just exercise more regularly and your nutrition was better, then you could solve a lot of issues, or at least prevent a lot of health issues. And so people are getting out there and they're more active, but what they find is that either they get injured, or whatever it is that they're doing, there's, just like in any other field, there's constant learning, and it's a process, and you've got to actually put together like a breakthrough plan, and then you've got to make a way for you to make it fun and enjoyable before, during, and after. And then you've also got to put in a process that you can evaluate towards. And again, a lot of this requires, again, just having the right support services and the support system. And so a lot of people just don't know how to go about doing this, because for the most part, they're used to doing life on their own. I mean, I was the same way. I did life on my own. And until it just started to become challenging at times, or I started to have greater goals and aspirations, which required more expertise and the right support system in order for me to go forward in that area. And you can see this at any level. You're if you're an executive or an owner, you have a different type of support system now than you did when you were an employee. Although you're still an employee, just because the responsibilities, the dynamics are different. But however, I believe that anyone needs to have that right support system. And I see that a lot of companies are providing this within their culture as far as having different peer groups and peer coaching or outside coaches coming in, speakers coming in to be able to give this type of support and these tools. So that's very, very important, because what I'm seeing out there is that there's a lot of flexibility that's needed. And thankfully, because of technology and because of this being the case with everything that's around us and all the things we can do, it's very, very amazing what flexibility can actually do for your organization and for your life. And this can be in all sorts of areas. And so being able to know how that flexibility functions, and that each individual is a little different and unique, and giving them that kind of freedom is really important. And because of technology, because of other areas and challenges in life, someone could maybe start work at 1 o'clock for the next month instead of coming in the morning and then working from 1 onward, or they can come in the morning and leave at 1, or whatever it may be, just because of specific challenges that are occurring in their life that you as an employer can work around, obviously, if you have that flexibility. And I'm finding that more and more people are able to do something like this, but first thing that has to happen is a value-oriented conversation needs to happen with whomever it is that's involved with what you do. And that's a tough conversation sometimes to happen, because some people feel that, if you're working for someone, you've just got to be there for those specific hours. But with flexibility and with some understanding, it can be a very rewarding situation, actually, taking a situation that maybe is challenging or tough and making it rewarding. Or it can be a way to actually gain more from your employees. And so that's very, very important. So just think about that in your life. Are you there at work or in your life in a presentee way? And that just means that you're there because you need to be there, because you're told you need to be there. But while you're there, you're not able to do what you need to do just because of whatever challenges that may be occurring in your life that are affecting you. And if someone with the right authority knew that, then they could help and give you the guidance or the support so that you could handle those challenges, and then also fulfill whatever it is that you need to fulfill for them. And everybody has a win-win. And so that conversation needs to occur. There's no doubt about it, because there's a lot of people who are basically not able to thrive that way. And employers, they want to keep their employees, and they want them to succeed, and as well as employees, they want to succeed and they want to keep their employer. That's not really the issue. It's a lot of times the value of flexibility and being able to have that conversation is essential. And so that's what I have for you today with consciousness. Is just think about being aligned in all those 4 areas. And when you are, you do have consciousness. And when you do have consciousness, then you'll feel the power and control that you need to see that whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, challenge, whatever it may be, that seems difficult right now, well, with the right support system in consciousness thinking, consciousness learning, consciousness knowing, consciousness conversation, then you could really make it a lot better situation for you and for everybody else. And then also for those people who are already doing well and they don't have a life challenge, they just basically could be experiencing more of a nostalgic effect at work just by having some of this flexibility. So think about how you can implement flexibility into your life, and you'll see that, you know, it's not really that anything in your environment needs to change, or even the people. It's not that at all. It's just the fact of being more flexible, and what that gives or provides for each person is different based on the situation that's occurring in their life. So that's what I have for you in All About Life today with your consciousness. If something here resonates with you, you can contact me at 864-569-2315 or Raj at rajgavrola.com. I hope you have a meaningful trigger this evening. I know I do. Tonight's actually an open evening. I went out for meet some friends last night. Just had a happy hour, and so that was really nice through a leadership group that our leadership program that I participated in. So it's always nice to see those people, and good to have friends. And so tonight I'm just going to take it a little bit easier and relax a little bit and see what else is happening that I haven't been able to do. Something probably that I haven't been able to do as much, I'll probably do tonight. Maybe I'll watch a movie or listen to some music, or I might actually play cards. I think that is something that I might just do at home tonight, or I might do some sketching. I'm not really sure yet, but I'm thinking about it because I know it's important to have a meaningful trigger in the evening. So for those of you at 4 o'clock, I'll be talking about consciousness in your intelligent breakthroughs in your sports performance and life.